Hi everyone, you're listening to the Paranormalcast with Lee Enfield and Sally Morgue'n. Tonight we're running down a special feature on some of the haunted mountains across the world. We're going to take a look back at the Shadows of Rochester Ghost Walk we've just conducted. Sally's got a scathing review of the TV show Paranormal Witness, and there's been sighting of a Sasquatch-like creature wandering around the woods near Tunbridge Wells. I'm Lee Enfield.
And I'm Sally Morgue'n.
And this is the Paranormalcast. Okay, Sally, you've got the first piece of news for us over the haunted mountain sighting seen by Paul Padiow. Is that how it's pronounced?
I'm going to guess so on that one.
Padiow.
Yep. This guy, he is 33. He's been a mountaineer since he was a student. And he's climbed and explored more than 40 mountains, which is pretty impressive. This took place during a climb in 1999. And he was merrymaking, as it is put, in a campsite. And he claims that 2 women climbers were possessed by unknown spirits who almost took their lives.
Right.
They were struggling, violently throwing away anyone who tried to subdue them, and they were speaking in hoarse, angry voices. Sounds to me like a possession.
Going on The Exorcist, that's a possession.
Yep. Apparently another mountaineer...
She hadn't seen that before this year.
Shut it. He said that, this is my favourite name ever, Ham You Gay, another mountaineer...
Can you say that again?
Ham You Gay, another mountaineer...
one more time.
Ham You Gay, another mountaineer tried rubbing a matchstick between the toes of the women to stop demon possession.
I'm not familiar with that method.
No, my favourite thing is the next sentence, which just says, the ritual had no effect on her.
Who would have thought it?
Yep. Apparently...
What are these people... I mean, demons are old, right?
Yeah.
So what were these people doing before matchsticks were invented?
Big sticks.
Big sticks. Okay.
Poo sticks.
Poo sticks, okay.
Yeah. Tell me you've played that.
Yeah, I'm aware of poo
Okay.
sticks. I just believe that matches predate when you were poo. So it's not really solving the problem.
Well, no. We're just making a bigger problem, I think. They tried to take this woman to... I'm not quite sure. It was just like a kind of a healer, as such.
Witch doctor?
Yeah, basically. And apparently as they came closer to the healer's house, Padiow, said the possessed women resisted and screamed. This person then put some more matchsticks, blew and prayed to it, and put it between the woman's toes. So now they're not just putting these matchsticks between their toes, they're praying to them.
Yeah. The prayer, they were told to say, was to pray Apostles' Creed, which I thought was a video game.
Yeah, they prayed to the jumpy guy in the white suit with the sword blade.
Okay.
Yeah. Didn't work very well. Completely different language. Apparently there were 2 different spirits got into the 2 women's bodies. I'm not sure if it was one at a time. We kind of had a bit of a party going on.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds to me a bit of a gangbang almost. And apparently they wanted to take the lives of the 2 women climbers. Now, I've heard of like possessions and everything. I haven't heard of one that's pretty much going, yeah, I'm going to kill you. It's
rare.
Yeah. But this apparently took place in the mountain. Let's just see what else we've got. Apparently, one of the ladies wanted to go to the restroom. They followed her, and she tried to commit suicide.
In the toilet?
Yep.
In a campsite toilet?
Yep.
That's possible.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've been camping. It's possible. If you wanted to, you could.
There was then the last healer. Apparently there were 3 healers. 1 on the first day, 2 on the second day, 3 on the third day. You know, proper
mnemonic
style.
healers.
Yeah. Immediately he held a mass of the woman's hair, curled it in his hands, and pointed his thumb in her forehead, reciting a little prayer. After this, she couldn't remember why they were at the mountain. They couldn't remember how they got there. And apparently the demons had left their body.
Okay.
They saw... some hours after that, they saw a black... Carabao? Yeah, Carabao. And a dark man whose face was completely hidden, and I'm presuming these are meant to be actual sightings of the demons once they've left these women's bodies.
Okay.
But it's all very kind of...
and then that happened, and then that happened.
Apparently many soldiers died there at this mountain.
Right, so you think the spirits of soldiers are still on the mountain possessing...
That's what they're trying
travellers
to get at.
who presumably disturb them with too much drinking and partying all night long.
Yep, because, you know, most soldiers, obviously, they don't go and kind of go back to where they're happy. They go back to a mountain. A mountain. And then they decide, you know, I'm a bit bored. I'm going to become a demon, which to me, if you're a soldier, you're probably going to try and be fighting for what you think is a good cause. So why would you then become a kind of demon possession, kind of ghosty thing?
Yeah, okay.
I know I'm getting at.
Demon possession ghosty thing.
That's
You heard it here first, girls.
It's a glossary term.
Yeah.
You know it.
We need the Paranormalcast glossary.
We'll make one day.
Yeah.
And then you see two women who I'm going to presume, going by horror films, they're either going to be having sex with each other, about to, or talking about boys and then having sex.
Yeah, so they're either going to be the bimbo airhead or the goth who pretends to know a lot about magic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then somehow, some reason, they've got possessed by this demon, who's taken them for what seems like 3 or 4 days, like non-stop. This demon, or these demons. There's meant to be 2 of them apparently.
Right.
For like 4 days, have taken these bodies, and then tried to kill them, make them commit suicide. These guys then come along, put a thumb on their forehead, said a prayer, and they're all right.
It sounds like half a joke. Oh, that mountain is two women get possessed on a mountain. They go to the first healer, he can't help, doesn't know what to do. So they go to the second healer, he says, I don't know what to do, and then the third healer is the punchline. That's how a joke's structured.
I'll come up with one by the end
Yeah.
of it. Yep, I'm working on that. I won't say anything else, but I'll be thinking of this.
It's funny because it's true. She will.
And then the third one came along and went, he won't leave her. Because... No, I lost that. I don't know. I was going to go for ghouls or...
There you go. 1.5 jokes.
Yeah, because...
You're making it worse.
Maybe if they took a camera, it would have been ghouls on film.
Hey, that was awful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Came up with
I
something.
hope you're
didn't
proud of
I?
yourself.
I'm very proud of myself. I was going to go for a ghouls or a diamond's best friend. Realised that made no sense and failed miserably on that one.
Ghouls are as easy to pun, that's for sure. So, certainly more than demon, ghosty, possessy thing.
We'll fit that in somewhere.
We didn't Scrabble with it, I suppose.
There we go, guys. You know you want to see this. Paranormalcast. Scrabble.
I can guarantee that sounds like the worst thing ever. I'm terrible at Scrabble.
You would be.
I know the words, I just have terrible luck
The
drawing
worst
the
thing
tiles.
ever is, I don't know, something like Toys R Us starting to sell plumbing items. I think that'd be pretty crap.
What?
That'd be pretty bad.
It would be worse than Paranormalcast Scrabble edition.
Yes.
This is a Paranormalcast for some reason.
Our second amazing one of the night. Oh, you pronounce this name because you seem to be good with this.
Ben McDewey.
Yeah.
Because that news story came up. Ben McDewey is the second highest mountain in Great Britain after Ben Nevis, and it lays claim to being the only haunted mountain in Britain. As we've seen, you do get ghosts in mountains. Mountains, really, when you think about it, are perfect locations for all manner of spirits. There's a lot of stone there, a lot of earth there, a lot of iron there, a lot of history, that's for sure as well, because any mountain is going to be old. That's just fact. There's so much potential there for so many hauntings, but also you obviously couple that with the people who go there tend to be quite remote. Lighting and air conditions can be very strange. It's absolutely perfect hauntings. But yet, Ben McDewey is the only one which is generally believed to be haunted in Britain.
Say it again.
Ben McDewey.
And again.
Ben McDewey.
Thank you.
It's not as good as Hamuragay. Is believed to be haunted by a giant shadow creature. I'm going to try. This is Celtic. I'm going to try and pronounce it, but I probably will do it wrong. It's Amthiolafmor, which means the grey man of Ben McDewey.
By the way you pronounced it, it probably means fuck off, I hate you, so you know.
Yeah.
Possibly.
Maybe I've started war.
Oh, why would you do that?
Again.
Only the third time.
It usually appears, people tend to hear it before they ever see it. They tend to hear its footsteps. Usually what happens is it appears to climbers who are either climbing on their own or one other person, certainly very, very small groups. And what usually happens is there is a cairn of stones on top of Ben McDewey, which is presumably some ancient burial site, possibly even going back Neolithic. It's very hard to say. I'm not an expert. And then a bed of cloud or strong fog descends down over the mountain, and they hear the sound of footsteps approaching them from behind them. That are usually quite slow, rhythmic, slightly scary sounding footsteps. It sounds like feet impacting on snow, because you get patches of snow up there.
Well, yeah, the one that they worked out, or one that worked out, was that they for every 3 or 4 of the man's footsteps, it was only one of this.
So it's so big it has a stride of like 3 or 4 normal strides. People generally do try and sit it out and see what the strange thing is approaching them, but almost always they panic and turn and run down the mountain. If this thing chases them down the mountain, they hear the sounds of the grey man of Ben Macdouey following them. An explorer did actually fire his revolver at it once, presumably with no effect. I think we should go there.
I think it'd be quite interesting. Although, do you really want me to go climbing somewhere that's meant to be haunted?
I think the idea of having you up a haunted mountain could be awesome.
You just want to scare me, don't you? And I've decided I'm not afraid of everything paranormal. There are only 2 things that are paranormal that scare me. Go
on.
This is certain ghosts, the mean ones, or the cruel ones, more spirits or entities, and zombies.
Okay, well, you're okay. I think we've yet to do a zombie walk. What was that noise?
That's me hissing at you.
Okay.
Rah.
Yeah, Sally is possibly, it's a terribly crippling ailment, really, when you think about it, if you're only paranormal entertainer who is scared of ghosts.
I'm not scared of ghosts. I just think that they should offer you a cup of tea and a chat instead of jumping at you or making you scared.
If you've never been on a ghost walk or a seance with us, just watch her. She's amazing. You're so jumpy.
Only a little bit.
You get terrified every time we go into the George Vault.
Oh yes, because I know that there are ghosts down there. And I see something every time I go down there that scares me.
It's like being a zookeeper who's scared of monkeys.
Oh, monkeys are cute though.
Why don't you get ghost monkeys?
To the zoo.
But that is the ghost of Ben Macdouey. It's an ominous spirit. I mean, it's the fact it seems to chase indicates it's spirit rather than ghosts to me.
Yeah, it comes down in like a fog, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be old, which is most unusual for a spirit. I mean, if going on the cairn, it's, like I say, possibly Neolithic.
Yeah.
It's very, very old indeed. It's
possible it's more ingrained, like it's not on its own now, it's possibly become ingrained with it.
An elemental or an entity, I suppose.
It seems very strong for what it is. It's very kind of powerful and...
I mean, a lot of the guys who go up there and have seen it are scientists or geologists or meteorologists. They are guys who aren't jumping at shadows all the time. They are going to have a clean, clinical, scientific mind to all these things, and they get terrified.
To be fair, if a fog appears and then you start hearing crunch, crunch, crunch behind you, it's either going to be a fat kid with a fog machine eating crisps...
Which... I don't know if you've ever tried to get a fat kid up a mountain, fog machine or no.
He has to carry that on his back.
Yeah.
No, they like leave...
Is anyone else picturing Cartman? I'm picturing Cartman.
That'd be amazing. No, you leave like a trail of like pork cracklings or like Monster Munch or something, and he just bites one, follows it, bites another one. That's what the crunching noise is, that's someone trying to lead him up the mountain.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here sold first. There is no Enfield Athmore. There is no grey man of Ben Macdouey. It's all an elaborate hoax in which Sally has been leading a fat teenager around the icy patches of the second highest mountain in Britain by leaving a trail of pickled onion flavoured corn snacks in an attempt to terrorise lone geologists. And really, when faced with a solution like that, ghosts seem rather silly, don't they?
To the logical answer.
So I would love to go there, because I remember hearing about this. The first time I heard the story of Ben Macdouey was on a cassette tape happened when I was a kid, which was John Herbie Brennan collected a load of true ghost stories, and it was narrated by Richard O'Brien, and it was an integral piece of my childhood, and I've always been fascinated with a lot of the locations on that tape, like Sanford Orcas Manor House and Ben Macdouey, and Scrap Faggot Green and stuff like those. If he's a mess, Scrap Faggot Green. It's where a witch's spirit.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, I just thought you saying.
Oh yeah, it's what Scrap Faggot Green. Yeah, we're getting the great names tonight, aren't we? But that was, and so this one's kind of really ingrained. I've always wanted to go. I've driven past it once on a family holiday, and for some reason, my mum and dad didn't want to pull over and climb up a mountain so we could see a ghost. But one day I'll go back.
Yeah.
I'll take you with me as well, advance warning detector. If you start hearing screaming from you, it usually means something spooky's coming.
Not that bad.
You're quite bad.
Yeah, fair enough. As long as there's no zombies, I'll be okay.
I can usually tell when you've encountered a cold spot or been tapped because you go, yeah.
Because it makes me jump. If there was some kind of pre-warning, like...
But every time.
Yes, because every time I'm not expecting it, I presume that's it for tonight, or there won't be anything tonight. No.
Yeah.
So
people see ghosts and go, ooh, or a jump or a scream, and they go, yeah.
It gives me a shiver, and that shiver makes me, instead of saying ooh or an ah, when you've got shivers, that goes,
No. Ghosts, traditionally in novels and films, a ghost will make someone scream. In real life, usually I find the time to do a double take or do a little jump. Yes, you make a noise like you've trodden on a slug in bare feet.
Oh.
So that was the ghost of Ben McDewey and the wonderful tangent we discovered. I think we should go there.
It would be quite incredible. I do want to go to a lot more like haunted locations, and I do want to travel around and find some.
We've got some doozies coming up next year.
It's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
Stay tuned.
Nothing's been finalised, so we're not going to spoil that just yet. But bear with us. There's some amazing stuff coming up with Enfield and Sally Morgue'n next year.
It's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
Unlike Paranormal Witness.
What a nice segue that was.
I'm very impressed with that actually myself.
So Paranormal Witness is I will be using the word allegedly a lot throughout this article. Paranormal Witness is allegedly a TV programme that is allegedly non-fiction.
The idea of it being is that people have had hauntings or possessions or something going on in their home or to do with them, and then they go on this show and they talk about it and they have reconstructions of it with occasional footage from it happening. There is a lot of like bunny ears going on here, by the way.
We can hear them.
Bunny. Yeah, and it's all very like some of them kind of make you go ooh, and like some of them are really good, and then they kind of get to a point where they go, and then a blue sheep appeared, and you're going.
Then the ghost jumped over a shark and some water skis.
Yeah, exactly. My favourite one still is possibly the first one that I watched, and if you ever get a chance, watch it.
What channel was it on? Was it Yesterday or History?
Oh, I think no, I don't know.
Might be Sci-Fi.
Might be Watch. Is it Watch?
Or Watch sounds about right. Yeah.
Something like that. You can pretty much find it on the internet. Someone's probably stuck it on YouTube.
Not that we're encouraging you do that sort of thing, obviously.
No, not at all. At all. Ever. Yeah, my favourite one has got to be, it's following a woman who's got a stepdaughter, a daughter of her own, and her husband, second husband. And they've moved into this new house. And basically every time they go out of the house and leave the two teenage daughters on their own, bad things happen in the house. It becomes wrecked.
I see.
There's writing on the wall.
Here.
No. This is all ghosts. Because the girls are always petrified when the parents come home. I've said it's ghosts.
Right, okay.
I'm going to pretend right now that I believe everything they say, and we'll see how far this goes. There is one night when they go out and leave the youngest one, who's about 13, on her own. And at this point, it's been going on for a few months. And I mean, like, they are having, like, poltergeists, like, things being stacked, things being moved, a lot of banging, and things being completely trashed. So they go, we're going to leave you on your own tonight, is that alright? And the 13-year-old goes, awesome. And apparently things start banging around, and she locks herself in a room, because the banging gets worse, blah, blah, blah. And after that, she comes downstairs, and she finds the word cat sprawled all over the house. Because that's what poltergeists like. They like cats. I'm assuming it's because they're cute and fluffy, and there is a whole song.
Didn't they offer the cat first before it got refused?
No.
Okay,
this was before.
Okay, it's like saying the word cat. Okay.
So it's saying the word cat. So the mum, this is where, up until this point, I'm going, alright, probably isn't, but at the same time, that's really scary.
Yeah.
And if I was a 13-year-old girl again, I wouldn't be staying in that house on my own.
Poltergeists do write on walls, but they tend to be, I mean, there was writing on walls in, certainly in Borley. There's a lot of writing on walls in Borley Rectory, for sure.
At this point I'm going, okay, but when you find out it's writing the word cat, and this is the bit where you start going, this is the blue sheep I was talking about. The mum decides at this point to offer the poltergeist a present to stop it annoying them.
Okay.
To calm it down.
Make a peace offering.
Yeah. So, as it's written the word cat, they try to give it a cat ornament. Put it up in the middle of the fireplace, and at this point it's only the mum and the two daughters, because the husband doesn't believe in all this crap. Fair enough. So put this cat piece in the middle of the mantelpiece, saying to whatever it is, this is for you, please leave us alone, etc., etc. The husband comes in and basically does the typical, oh, what's all this crap, blah, blah, blah. Picks it up and throws it out the front door, and it smashes. At which point, the two girls are crying, and as far as I can remember, going, oh my god, why did you do that? And the mum's really surprised as well, and kind of trying to stop him. They turn around, it's sat back on the mantelpiece in one piece.
Mm-hmm.
This is the bit where I started to lose it, because after this, apparently it got worse, but there's no more proof of what happened after that. I mean, apparently the girls were videoing it on their phones, like everything that was going on. Their first thought was, must record this on my phone.
I hate stuff like that.
Yeah, it makes no actual sense to me.
I mean, the biggest clue for me when you see, oh, look at this scary ghost I shot. You see those videos turn up on YouTube all the time, and usually it's someone in their bathroom filming their bathroom for no reason.
Yeah.
Whenever someone sends me a photo or a video of supposed paranormal activity, my first question is always, why was the camera there at that time?
Yeah.
And if you've got no reason that you can see at all for the camera being there, then there's a very, very strong likelihood that they're not being 100% honest with you.
Yeah, completely. It gets worse after that, and it's like you're waiting for this big, huge ending, something quite extravagant, and it just ends on them going, yeah, we decided to move out, and I don't talk to my husband anymore. That's it.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't talk to her either, to be fair.
No, I wouldn't, but my point being, after all that, my favourite bit has still got to be the cat.
Yeah, there's Paranormal Witness,
Yeah.
sorry. It tries too hard. It tries too hard to come across... It dolls things up too much. It's all glitz and glamour and showmanship, and the believability of it is totally scuppered.
Yeah.
There's, like you say, the ending's always really downbeat, which is probably the only realistic part of it. I mean, there's every chance that these families are telling the truth as they see it, but the producers decide to beat it to death with a special effects hammer.
Mm. I mean, the reconstructions are pretty awesome, because obviously I'm presuming it's a very low budget thing, because normally when there's ghostly activity happening, it just involves the camera shaking a lot and things banging around.
Fielding in a room with a green light bulb.
Yeah, basically, and it's just things banging around, and because you can't see the whole chair in any shot, you're pretty sure there's someone behind it just banging it slightly with a shaky camera.
Yeah. Why is a camera on the chair anyway?
Yeah, exactly.
And Paranormal Witness, it tries to present itself as a documentary, but like you say, the cat bit.
Yeah, that.
Or I saw one where a woman took over a house, and as she discovered it, it turned out to be an old asylum where they murdered children, and there was a dead body in the basement. And it's reached a point where there's a difference between documentary and something like Insidious. And the producers and directors of Paranormal Witness seem completely unable to separate the two.
Yeah, they there's quite a few bits where you go, I'm pretty sure I've seen this in a film. And it's, there are bits and pieces. I mean, like the way they were talking about the stacking up.
Straight out of Poltergeist.
Yeah. It's not even like a kind of...
Steven Spielberg film.
Yeah, it's like not even like things were being moved. It was just they were stacked up. Like, really? And it was literally the idea of, I turned my back for a second, turned back, and it was stacked. She was basically reading a summary of horror plots. Yeah. And that's what annoyed me. And with I've heard of things like in... like houses like that of, you move something, you get rid of something, a few days later it'll come back, or it'll be on your front door or something like that.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Maybe that's what you're saying there is, we threw it away and a couple of days later it came back kind of a bit mud-stained. Yeah. That may have been what the family actually said, but the producers have gone, no, we don't want none of that. We got to get some adrenaline in this horror documentary. They're from all over the place. They're from Wisconsin, Idaho, Texas. I don't know.
Idaho. I'm really sorry if we've got any American listeners. We've just really upset them. I'm very sorry.
I'm just nothing offensive there. I'm trying to integrate myself with your culture. You're from Mississippi, Ohio.
Mississippieville. Muddy Mississippi.
Canada.
Yeah, I still love that. It's just amazing because, there's obviously the stereotyping that we've come to where all Americans are dumb. It's especially on the internet, the amount of times you see that kind of thing.
All Americans are dumb.
No.
But I do think producers of American TV shows think American audiences are dumb.
Yeah. and it's like you're not helping your culture by going, yeah, we're really smart. Look at this thing which obviously happened. Look at how much it happened, and you're like, no, it didn't.
I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of this program, but something like Michaela Strachan's Great British Ghost is a much better documentary because there's no reenactment to it. There's no, unless they've actually got photos or actually got videos, they don't show you anything. What you get there is just locations and eyewitness reports, and it's a much more believable show as a result, rather than this schmaltz you get with something like Paranormal Witness.
There is a program, and it's got a team called Tapsin, and the guys are like plumbers by day.
Yeah.
See, that I like, because they go to these locations and they'll record things, blah blah. At the end they go, yeah, this happened, but then we investigated and it turned out to be a pipe.
Yeah.
But then again, if there is something happening that they physically cannot explain, they will show the people and go, we can't come up with anything.
Yeah.
There was one where there was a really heavy rope wrapped around a hook or something, and it's got footage, and it literally just, it gets lifted up and pushed back, like someone's pulled it off and put it on the floor.
Okay.
But they've got it from like 3 or 4 different angles, and you watch it, and you know, they must have paid a lot of money to do the special effect, or it is actually haunted. But like when they get recordings on sound, like audio recordings, it's been said a lot that it sometimes picks up its own sound, or like its own static, which can sound like things. But they're going through and they're like, you know, if you like, there's one and you can hear like a music box playing, and they're going through it and they're like, there was no music playing, because you would have heard it on the rest of it, and it's almost as if it's in like the room next to you, and it is very obviously music. That kind of thing, they're going, no, we don't know why. But when it's a voice and they're going, it could have been it picking its own static up, it could have been my voice echoed, but they go through it, and that kind of program I like, because they kind of took Most Haunted, stuck its fingers up and went, this is how you do a proper investigation.
So Most Haunted I quite like, but I think it has to be taken with a pinch of salt.
Lee likes Most Haunted.
I do like Most Haunted. I know, it's awful, but at the same time, Most Haunted is... It's not as straight-laced as something like the Tax Programme or like Great British Ghost, but it is considerably more believable than something like Paranormal Witness. It's they do act it up, they do make a show of it, but that's their job, and they've done it very, very well. It's run for God knows how many series, and he's getting a reboot next year.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. Most Haunted has ended, but Yvette Fielding and her husband are basically taking the programme and are doing a new series under a different name.
Oh, okay.
But Most Haunted is very entertaining, but yeah, it never stretches credibility quite like something like Sightings or Paranormal Witness does.
I mean, you get, for, you know, pretty much every single programme, you get the thumps and the bumps and the, oh my god, what was that?
Well, that's usually what you do, as we discussed.
Yeah, but that's because I'm actually hearing something, not because someone stomped their foot and they're going, oh my goodness, what was that? I mean, there's one, and it's one that always stuck with me. It was the first one I ever saw, and it was a few years ago. It must have been like first series. And they had a camera set up in the corner, like in the corner of a room, but like looking at a stairwell. It is against the wall. It moves about 2 inches to one side, so you can't see what's on the stairs. And then that's when they heard banging, and you see someone open the door and go, the hell was that? Because they think there's someone on the stairs. That stuck with me, and that was in the first series, and I think if they ever encountered anything, that was it. That was when they got something.
Yeah.
But it's just amazing how every time they do a live show, it's always action-packed with a lot of stuff, and there's always lots of things happening.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they don't encounter things, because I'm pretty sure they have.
Oh, yeah.
You know, some of the places they're going, you have to encounter something. But I think, you know, they refuse to see any other they refuse to see a scientific point of things.
Sure.
You know, if they're underground, they hear something, it's not because there's a train over the top, it's because there's a ghost down there banging. And that does annoy me a bit, I will admit. But you like it.
Yeah, I do. Because, for the reasons I just said, it's entertaining and upbeat. I don't think it's as straight as something like Great British Ghost or the Tap Show, but it's certainly not as crap as Paranormal Witness. And it's done a lot for paranormal entertainment in general.
Oh, definitely.
You know, let's be honest, we probably wouldn't be here doing the live shows and the walks and the tours and the radio show that we do if it wasn't for the interest that exists as a result of Most Haunted.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. They opened up like the whole section for everyone to kind of go, that's quite cool.
Yeah.
We could do this, we can do that with it. And it became, like, socially acceptable to believe in ghosts.
Yeah.
It became, like, you know, you'd watch it and go in the next day to work, school, everyone would be like, oh, did you see that? This happened. And it was quite nice to talk amongst people. And some people going, yeah, I think I'm actually believing now. And some people being like, no, this is why, blah, blah, blah. It opened up a lot of things. But no, I do agree, we probably wouldn't be doing it if it wasn't for them. So thank you, Yvette.
Closer to home, there's been, because we're in Kent, in the southeast of England, there's been a sighting of a Sasquatch or Bigfoot-like creature recently.
Yes, Bigfoot.
Tell us all about that.
There's been a sighting of Bigfoot in Tunbridge Wells, in a park, I believe, near some woods. A guy about 8 foot, quite hairy, with red menacing eyes. Now, this kind of goes, you know, it was seen like a Saturday night, so probably by a drunkard. But then you find out something really interesting. In the same place, 60 years before, there was a sighting of a man about 8 foot tall, really furry, with red eyes, by a couple who saw it, screamed and ran because it came up and it was going to try and sit next to them on the bench. So they ran off screaming, and the fact that this was recorded then, and they got laughed about by the police when they went there, and for it to happen again now is that. Yeah,
it's strange. So it's like a park or a nature reserve down by Tunbridge Wells.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which, you know, to have this reporting 60 years apart, and to not have any clue about the other one, obviously, I find that really fascinating.
That is strange. I mean, I know there's a few big cats, alien big cats supposedly around. Kent wasn't aware of a Sasquatch-like creature.
Or is it possible that these black cats can also not just run on 4 legs, but possibly on 2? It's possible it was to do with the same thing, maybe?
10 years ago, alien big cats tend to be actual, like, jaguars or panthers or cougars that have escaped from zoos or private collections. Okay. The alien implies foreign, not extraterrestrial. I know. It's people who do subscribe to ABCs generally don't prescribe anything paranormal to them. They are just, there's one of those, like the Beast of Bodmin is the most famous example.
Okay, so they are genuine, real creatures.
Yeah, generally they are believed to be, surviving and thriving, however, in a cold and drizzly country. So this couple has seen. So the couple saw it in the 60s, and it's one person on his own saw it recently.
Yeah.
Okay. There is a figure that kind of fits that description in the Vines in Rochester, because we mentioned it when we did the Shadows of Rochester Ghost Walk.
Yes, there is actually,
what I believed to be the ghost of someone who was tried as either a witch or a werewolf, because they tend to leave behind very angry, very monstrous-looking spirits. But if this thing is flesh and blood, then that's something strange, but it just feels interesting, the description.
That's the thing, there's no pictures or videos of it, which to me it's one of those things that it kind of makes me think it's a bit more real, because you know, you didn't go, oh, there's something really scary, just take a picture of that. At the same time, you then go, but I want to see evidence of this. It's a no-win situation, really, but there wasn't any proof of it as such, but they definitely saw something. Also in Rochester, it has the red eyes. It's meant to be a hairy-ish kind of thing, which, you know, if you see something quite big and quite bulky, you might presume it to be that. Yeah. As there's no actual evidence of what was seen, it's just said to be furry. It's possible that it's the same kind of thing, but sorry. It's possible that it's just meant to be, or it's just a bit of a filler. It's a bit like it's got more energy, possibly.
So, I mean, I would be interested in discovering how many more sightings of this there have been over the years, because, like you say, 60 years separate is pretty weird. Firstly, I wonder how many times in between those two it's been sighted and not reported, but I am also then kind of curious as to how far back it has been sighted. I mean, are we talking, we're talking 10 years before that, or are we talking 1,000 years before that?
You don't know. I mean, Tunbridge Wells isn't really the kind of place you think, you know, hauntings there. Yeah. It's when I found out it was there, out of everywhere in Kent, that really surprised me. I find it very fascinating. I mean, it's possible. I mean, you get there is the disease, isn't there? The genetic disease that basically covers you head to toe in fur.
Yeah.
It's always possible that there was like an outcast family of that, maybe.
Okay,
Like
well,
however
it's a
many,
theory,
like
yeah.
X amount of years ago.
They're actually kind of living almost like feral humans, I suppose, not feral children, but a feral family. That would be very interesting.
I mean, you do get the feral children who have lived with like wolves and things like that.
There was one spotted, I think it's probably about 20 years ago now, actually running with gazelles.
That's amazing.
Yeah, but he was running and keeping up with it. They never caught him. He's still out, or was still out there because they couldn't catch him.
Yeah, see, that's... I mean, you know, you say 100 years ago, you have, like, parents and a kid who's like that.
Mm.
They want to keep themselves surviving. That's what's built into us.
Yeah.
You become a bit... If you were to become inbred with that kind of thing, you're going to start looking pretty damn freaky.
Yeah.
And you're going to scare a lot of people.
Yeah, okay. Well, it's certainly a believable theory that we could be dealing with.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's essentially a genetic mutation, is what you're saying.
Yes, I mean it's possible. I mean, I'm not saying it is. It could be a genuine Bigfoot.
Yeah.
Because there's sightings of Bigfoot all around the world, and either he likes to go on holiday a lot, or there's a lot of them.
Yeah, there is.
So.
Okay, there really is an interesting story. It would be interesting to see if it develops any further, if any more people come forward with a sighting of it, or any more history of it. I'm going to keep my eyes open for that one. On to the stuff we've been doing. Yay, because we're the best.
We're awesome.
Yeah. We did the seance in the George Vaults in Rochester on the 30th of October.
Yes.
Yeah. And someone has sent us in a photo of that they took during... There's a candlelight there, so it's either just before the blackout or it's...
Just after.
Possibly the glass moving we were doing.
I think so, yeah.
But she's got what appears to... Well, I could see quite clearly there is a human face in there.
Yes, there is it looks like a silhouette shadow of a human's face.
Yeah, you can pick out detail. It's an incredible photo.
It's not one where you go, oh, it might be. It's, you know, you sit and you go, yeah, definitely. Yeah. Like, I was a bit doubtful, looked and went, fair enough, no, I agree.
Yeah.
Which was... You know, after everything else that happened, which we talked about in the first one.
I mean, it is similar to the nth degree in that the light and the flash is reflecting off a bit of brickwork, and we're seeing the face in the shadows, which is a possibility. But I'm stretching it. I think it's a really impressive photo. This will be the photo will be up on LeeEnfieldEntertainment.com and Facebook.com/LeeEnfieldMagic.
I mean, we talked about it on the first one, how there was a lot of things to do with fires and flames that were being sighted, etc. So for a face to appear in flames, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That seems logical to me for that to happen.
Mm-hmm.
But the ghost walk was fantastic.
Yeah, I got a photo there, didn't I?
Yes, you did. You got it was by the cathedral, I believe.
By the again, this photo is on the Facebook page. Photo by the Rochester Cathedral. There's a archway which supposedly has a few bad feelings and spirits associated with it, and I got what appears to be quite a lot. I mean, it takes up about half the screen, really. Quite a strong vortex appear kind of halfway across the picture, flashing an angle, and there's a flare on the end of it as well. So possibly it's a flying orb or a vortex. Looking at the mundane explanations, it was interesting to get, and it spooked me at the time, but I personally just read it. I'm not going to be one to say, oh, definitely got a ghost to this picture, because there's too many mundane explanations for it. So it could be something as simple as a moth got caught in the flash. It's not a crystal clear photo like this one that the audience member sent in to us from a seance, which is absolutely amazing. But I was quite pleased to capture that, and hopefully we'll get something similar turn up again soon. We also got an actual sighting on the Shadows Rochester Ghost Walk when we, again, the Shadows Rochester Ghost Walk, when we can, we end it in the George Vault, because it's, the Amityville of Rochester, really.
Yeah.
And we had a tour down there, and we had an audience member who properly got spooked.
Shat himself.
Yeah, he was terrified, and he wasn't. I don't make assumptions about someone, but he seemed to be enjoying it. He seemed quite level-headed.
Yeah.
Whereas he wasn't jumping at shadows the whole time.
Yeah, he was very kind of not scientific, but very this is that. Very, which is fantastic.
Yeah, but he seemed genuinely spooked.
Something. I mean, I didn't catch it. I didn't see it at all. I was looking the wrong way. But he physically went white and jumped, and I believe the words was holy whatever it was. What was that? To which we're all looking around going, what? Took him a couple of seconds to actually kind of regain himself.
First thing, he went over there and checked out the bar to see if it was something. Which you see, it was like he wanted to kind of debunk it for himself and go, it was good. Just that. Yeah, that's what I try and do.
But after that, it took him a couple of seconds to kind of go, no, there isn't anyone there. What happened? And we eventually got told that he saw something behind the bar. I think as far as I can
he saw someone walk along the bar. That's what it sounded like he saw.
Yeah.
A black shape. He couldn't pick out detail, but he saw a black shape. And you go on a ghost walk, you're there for the history and you're there for the ambience, really.
Yeah.
You're not necessarily expecting to actually see something. So if you come on the Shadows of Rochester Ghost Walk, it is actually possible to see something.
Yeah. And if you've heard the first one, you'll know that is where quite a lot of our experiences came when we had the seance.
Yeah.
And it was after that when we did the seance, quite a few people reported someone peering round the corner of the brick wall right at the back behind the bar, which he then saw a couple of minutes later.
Yeah, okay.
So he saw two things, which was amazing. To be honest, there was a lot
of people said they see a face.
Yeah.
I've never seen it.
That's
One day I'm going to see it and it's going to creep me the hell out because...
That's the one that, when we did the seance, I obviously took my stuff down to the...
Oh, you got there before I did, didn't you?
Yeah, and I saw a face in the corner. It just looked like someone was stood there, and I knew that there wasn't, and I didn't even bother to turn around. I just dumped my stuff and ran back upstairs shaking because I wasn't expecting... I don't know, I'm not saying ghosts have opening times, but you kind of don't expect them to just appear. You never do. But it really got me. And I think, after a ghost walk, you're already a bit spooked. But then to actually see something...
If I've done my job right, yeah.
He never does. But then to see not just one thing, but two. I mean, he left very shortly afterwards. He thanked us and left. Which is fantastic for us.
Hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah. But to actually see something.
Yeah.
And to get cold spots and everything.
Oh yeah, we got cold spots down there. I could tell you got a cold spot because you went... Leave
my noise alone. I'm happy with that.
No, Scooby Morgue'n. Anyway, we've got some great stuff coming up in the pipeline. Obviously, we are doing the Shadows of Rochester Ghost Walk returns on Tuesday the 18th of December. So if you're looking for some Christmas ghost stories, that's the show to come along to, and you might even see something creepy in the George Vault. So come along to that. Tickets are £9 each for an 80-minute tour, and hopefully we end up in the George Vault for a chat and a coffee afterwards as well. Tickets for that will be available from wegottickets.com/LeeEnfield or LeeEnfieldEntertainment.com. Do book in advance if you can, because spaces sell out very quickly indeed. We've got some great venues and some great events coming up, but we're not allowed to talk about them yet because contracts still being finalised, but it's going to be... I know you're so excited about one of them, aren't you?
One of them, yeah, definitely.
Both of the big ones I'm kind of excited about. But it's... stick around, please. It's an exciting time. I'm Lee Enfield.
And I'm Sally Morgue'n.
Bye.